All right, just gonna go through some levels real quick. Just looking at it. Monday morning expectations can't be too terribly high. We are inside of the prior day range, so going to just speed run these really quickly. We have prior day low. And we're gonna be looking at prior day high. We also have this gap fill right here. So this is the prior week close, and then prior day high. So we're gonna pretty much be trading within this box right here. Looking at on the daily chart, it doesn't look too exciting, but when we drop to, let's just say, an hourly, well, this is kind of what we're confronted with. Prior week close. So the idea is that we have sold off overnight somewhat, and now we're holding VWAP. If we look at it, see right here, my estimation is that we're going to break this range right here and then trade to the upside to at least the prior week close. So I would be willing to get long, let's just say right here on a break above to then target up here, this 370 area at best, probably peel some out along the way. We also have this week's open. So this would be the weekly open right there. So this is one framework you could be looking at. The idea is that we've sold off, we've held VWAP after essentially rebalancing all of this fair value gap down here. It's 30-minute gap. You can also be looking at the inverse that's slightly lower with the gap up to here. So as you can see, we've pretty much respected and now we've started to invert this gap right here, essentially. So if you are going to look for a long holding VWAP to target higher, this is a reasonable area to look at for it. So you can see something like that would work. So make this like lighter gray. And essentially your stop will go down here. With 2 minutes till the open, this has a high probability of getting swept out. However, based on this little consolidation, if we are going to break to the top side for a little bit of a Monday rally, I do think this is a favorable risk reward to at least, let's just say, prior week close. Prior week close right there. So the question is whether or not we get faked out. Sometimes you'll get tagged into a trade when it doesn't close up there, which is probably my least favorite type of price action when I see that happen. However, it does give you a decent risk reward looking just VWAP in general, trading back to the top side. Yeah, I don't love that 1 minute chart. I do not love that. So if you look here on the 1 minute, yeah, like when you get tagged in like this and then it just immediately runs for the stop, but we'll give it the open. We have 1 minute. It can simply just fake out right here and then just run. So we'll just watch how this reaction is. So yeah, pretty much anywhere. We can even look at something, a measured move within this gap right here of the weekly open. So this opening gap, you could do 50% right here. It's gonna make these not invisible, right? So even if you targeted like 50% of this gap fill, this would be a decent trade. So going off a few different pieces of information, obviously location on the overnight session, the weekly opening gap. You also have the fact that Mondays tend to be a bullish day, statistically speaking. For whatever reason, Mondays tend to rally. So seeing a little bit of a relief bounce here based on 5 minute price action as well. It looks relatively easy to trade to the upside. So we'll give it that. So now with this push at the open, I am going to just go break even really quick. I'll probably just take one off here and let the rest kind of work. Probably take one off at the 320 as well. And then we'll probably try to run this a little bit more. Take one off at 330. Let's take one off here. Yep. So now we have 2 left. I'm going to try to run for the rest of the gap fill. Just trail it relatively aggressively. Try to get one off at 337. I'm going to drop to the lower time frame so I can see what's going on a little bit better. I do believe we could get one off at 337 really quickly. And then obviously we're going to have a runner for the prior week close. Here, we're just snag this off really quick. Boom. And we'll trail this one right here. So now we do have room for a runner. As you can see right here, prior week close is just right above head. It's really close to us. So we've taken a pretty nice move at the open from 290 to 350 so far, essentially. But we do have room for this runner to move. So I'm going to kind of trail it a little more aggressively using this 15-second chart. I do believe this is just going to be a nasty little ripper. So we'll kind of just play with it, right? So we're at the 50%. Our trail could be at the 50%. So that was our baseline target. We'll see how nasty this thing wants to get. I'm kind of just joking around right here. I don't really expect it to need to run to like this prior day high. I believe that's like somewhere in here. This might be just that. So yeah, now we are pretty much in the driver's seat. Our trail's at 50 points in profit. We're just going to let the rest run for whatever it might decide to do. It could easily just reject here. I mean, I don't mind. I'm on a 15-second chart again, looking at this 30-minute candlestick as well. Is looking pretty strong. We have noticed, if you guys have been paying attention the last couple of Mondays, we've noticed this tendency where price will like to just ramp relentlessly on Mondays. So yeah, we're down to our last of the 5 contracts, looking to target prior day high based on the fact that we're obviously within the prior day range. I'm just trailing, so we've peeled out across this new week opening gap at the quarter mark, at the halfway point, and then now our trail's at the 3/4 mark. We are targeting right here. You can see the prior day high, and it looks like we might actually just reach that. So this has been a pretty nasty move right here. In from 289, our trail's at 352, and we're just going to let it work. So first stream back in quite some time since the move. It's going well so far. So I'm going to actually just trail this again to prior week close, and then we're just going to let it run for the prior day high. I'll do some further analysis on it right now, but as it currently stands, I do believe this to be a relatively easy base hit target at this point. We've extended the targets quite a bit, but I mean, you don't always get a move like this every single day, so we'll just play with it. We're up. We'll trail this to 380 now, and we'll see if we can actually get that 433 fill. What up? What up? How you doing, brother? Yeah, so I just I've adjusted the permission. So if it looks good, I'm gonna stream in here. We caught a fucking crazy trade. I broke down the whole thing, so I actually recorded this. So I'm gonna post it on YouTube. I'm pretty sure. Crazy fucking move, right? Crazy move. Like we got into like literally like perfect right before the open, and it just ran. So since you're here now, let's just kind of fucking get a little crazy with it. Here, I'm gonna trail a little tighter. So we'll make 200 points no matter what, or we'll make 100 points on this final contract no matter what. But I did have 5, so I peeled out one like right here, a couple right here, and then I trailed like just following. So either we get prior day high or the $100. I'm okay with either. We'll leave it right there just to kind of show you what good trading should look like. Looking at the right here. So this prior day high, this is the next logical target. As far as that goes, yeah, like next logical target is prior day high. So you want this to hit. This is an insane move though. I broke down the logic for this, but basically looking at Mondays Mondays tend to be bullish in general. So getting long on Monday is a pretty fair bet if the chart obviously aligns with it. So yeah, that's kind of what happened here. You don't always get a fucking vertical move like this. This is quite literally insane. But we actually, if we get trailed here, this is more than we were looking for. All of our targets were in here, and I just made the choice to kind of aim a little bit higher. So this is perfectly fine if I get stopped here. Like, I'd be happy. And then if it hits this, this obviously makes sense as well. So, yeah, crazy move. After a trade like this, I mean, it's pretty easy just to be done. There's, like, you literally can't ask for better. So what I saw in the 5 minute particularly that I did like was I saw right here this consolidation at VWAP right below the weekly open. I figured this was a pretty clear skies ahead based on the fact that overnight we also did essentially rebalance this big gap right here. So we filled in that gap and just kind of pushed higher. So this kind of move right here, let me get rid of this fucking... Yeah, this move right here, like where it's stabbed down and then push, that's kind of what I was seeing. So crazy move. All in like 5 minutes too, which is nice. This whole thing happened really quickly. And now we'll get trailed right here for the last of it. We'll see. It could just run the target as well. It's at a spot where either direction's fine. We've literally caught way more than we wanted to. So if it gives us that little extra, then cool. Extra $80. If not, we're cool with $100 points. All right, so this thing's gonna probably run our target. Yeah, we're almost there. So cool, trail it a little bit. And just for good trading, obviously, me personally, I'm kind of stupid, so I'd want to aim for higher. But this is where you want to take it off, just because, you know, that's good trading. So that's it for the day. That's how you do it. Just caught that whole move. Yeah, done.